What a gorgeous day in Miami. Warm, humidity, yeah. But you know what? Come on into Marlins Park. Hyundai presents a Sunday of baseball here in Miami. The coolest park in all of baseball. And it's a kids Sunday. We celebrate kids and baseball. Billy's Bunch is here, and we'll be doing it throughout this Marlins-Giants game. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Welcome to Miami. The Marlins have taken 2 of 3 from the Giants. This is the final game of this series. You know, when the Marlins were struggling, Tommy, they went on the West Coast. They had lost 8 of 9. They had an awful April. But on May 1st, they played the Giants. Ricky Nolasco faced Matt Cain, and that's where it all started on what has been a record May.
And isn't it amazing? That's the matchup we have today, and a chance for the Marlins to win another series, something that they started doing on that May 1st. But you look at these two pitchers, very interesting comparison. Matt Cain has been an all-star a couple of times, has tremendous stuff, but look at these 2 games under 500. He historically has not gotten much run support. On the other hand, Ricky Nolasco, the club's all-time leader in wins, is well over 500. Ricky has never been an all-star. He's got to watch out for Blanco, and Cain has to watch out for Reyes, a couple of guys who have hit each of those pitchers.
Yeah, it's a great contrast with these two guys going at each other again. The Marlins and the Giants meet for the final time in this 2012 season. The Marlins have played well against the Giants. They swept them in San Francisco, have taken 2 of 3 here in Miami. Ricky takes the mound. Marlins and Giants next. About to finish this series on a Sunday in Miami. Let's head out to center field. Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine, and a special guest.
Hey, what better way, Rich, to finish it off than with Stevie from Billy's Bunch, the veteran report. Can you be a veteran reporter on Billy's Bunch?
Yeah, 4 years.
4-year reporter. Niner,
4
you've
years.
had.
Look, he's taller than you now, too.
I know. This is
he
getting
passed
scary.
you up.
You've had some issues with the ice cream.
I want a rematch. We had the big ice cream eating contest a couple years ago, and I don't know. I want a rematch. I think it was fixed.
Are you going to give him a rematch? Would you give him a rematch?
If he behaves nicely.
Whoa.
Reluctance.
What are you doing here today?
It's guilt.
Well, as you already saw, I interviewed Ryan Webb.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go do a hit on the sideline, 3rd inning, about Ricky Nolasco, and then in the 6th inning, I'm going to be in the booth.
You got a busy day.
Yeah.
Let's talk on Ricky Nolasco. As you know, Stevie, better than most, he's the all-time wins leader in Marlins history. 69, can you believe that? 69 wins.
Been here a while.
Knocked off Willis last time out. We talked with Ricky yesterday about the start.
It was nice to get that win. All the pitchers that game worked really hard for that one, and it was an exciting game. Just to be able to bounce back from giving up those 3 in the first and just kind of grind it out. That was, I was pretty happy about that.
Ricky, I think, made a good point there about grinding it out. He's given up a lot of cheap hits in this big ballpark. We'll see if he can get number 70 today.
I look forward to your report.
All right, thank you.
Later, could you tell me what you you tell me. I want to get a detail. He's good reporters you see on Billy's Bunch. Great interview with Ryan Webb as well on Marlins Live. Up next, though, it's baseball. The Marlins trying to win this series against the Giants. They've taken 2 out of 3 so far. We've got a great show in store for you. Velasco Kane highlights coming up.
Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Hyundai. If it's fuel efficient, affordable, stylish, and safe, it's probably a Hyundai. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today for great deals on an amazing lineup of Toyota vehicles. Toyota, moving forward. Great shot of the Clevelander. Fans getting set down there. Look at the shark in the tank. Ready to go. Lineups look this way. The San Francisco Giants coming at 24 and 23. Gregor Blanco's been hot. Brandon Crawford's had a nice series. Melky Cabrera leads the bigs in hits. Buster Posey hits cleanup. Angel Pagan's been a pain in the neck. Aubrey Huff is slumping. Joaquin Arias has had all 4 games at third. The Riot, Ryan Theriot, is at second base, and Matt Cain hits ninth. Ricky Nolasco and Tommy Hutton, the Marlins will keep an eye on him. First inning has been an issue for the last 3 starts. Pinch a penny brings you the first pitch. Nolasco misses outside.
Yeah, he had trouble in that first inning against the Mets. He had trouble his last time out against the Rockies. But you had to like the way he bounced back, and he spoke of that in the interview in Marlins Live. So you want to see Ricky come out and have a nice, clean first inning. That's a good sign.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. In the air, right field. Stanton starts back. Giancarlo is there, and he makes the catch wearing the red-orange jerseys. Today, let's look at the Marlins defense.
Actually, to retire Gregor Blanco is a good sign. Coughlin, Peterson, Stanton in that outfield. Hanley and Reyes, Infante and Logan Morrison, and John Buck calling the signs for Ricky Nolasco, who's 5-2 in his career against the Giants with a 1.56 ERA. Most of that damage in San Francisco,
where he's 4-0 with an ERA of 0.87. And here is Crawford, the left-handed hitting shortstop out of UCLA. Ball one. Mike Malinsky is the home plate umpire. Wally Bell, Mike Winters, Mark Wegner is at third base. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Crawford. And it's 2-0. Crawford, when the Marlins saw him on May 1st, and of course that was when this nice run started. That was the Nolasco-Kane matchup to open the series in San Francisco. Crawford's batting average down around 200, and he's upped it to 240 now. The guy known for his glove is starting to hit a little bit. And he was at 203 and had a double in 3 at-bats against Nolasco on that chilly night in San Francisco. That ball's in the air. High socks for Reyes today, and he makes the catch. And there are 2 outs. Bruce Bochy, the skipper of the Giants, a world championship, of course, in 2010, a Florida native. Actually, not a native. He grew up in Florida. He was born in France. Brevard Community College and Florida State. That one foul back, and it's Melky Cabrera, who, if you've been following this series, you know not only is he impossible to get out in this series, he's had some big hits, but he leads the big leagues in base hits, 69 of them.
That was one of the keys to the ball game yesterday. He was 0 for 4.
And that was amazing because he went into the ball game yesterday 17 of 27 in his career against Mark Burley. Burley getting the win. He's now 5-4. Nolasco's 0-2. Oh, Ricky with a big curveball that almost caught the plate. And it's 1-2.
You like to watch Ricky mix things up early. He has. He just misses right there, trying to drop that curveball in the back door. But he threw a good slider to get the pop up. Crawford, his fastball's been moving around. Went upstairs there with that fastball. So right now, Ricky making his pitches here in the first inning.
Nolasco, the all-time winner in Marlins history. That was the significance of his last win, and it was interesting listening to his conversation with Craig. There's Randy St. Clair. The 1-2. And Craig asked him, hey, did you get anything for your milestone win? And Ricky didn't miss a beat. He said, I just want to get to the postseason. That's all he wants. The 2-2. Breaking ball lined into the seats. The Marlins, by the way, on this nice homestand, have upped themselves to second place in the East. They've crawled out of the basement and now are 2.5 back behind the Nationals. And guess who's coming to town tomorrow? A 1 o'clock start. The Washington Nationals.
Well, it's going to be a big series.
Melky drives it right field. That's deep, and it's gone. And Melky Cabrera has homered with 2 outs here in the first inning. His second home run of the series. His 7th RBI of the series. My goodness.
70th hit on the season. That's home run number 4. But he shows you he has that line drive quickness. Fastball wanted in, not quite in enough, and Melky Cabrera turned on it.
Boy, right now Melky Cabrera is hitting everything hard. He's hitting it to all fields. Nolasco misses up to Buster Posey.
By the way, we were looking at those standings. It's hard to believe the Braves have lost 6 in a row.
Yeah, Marlins saw the Braves for just 2 games in Atlanta, split the series with them. Posey to center field. Peterson back. And Brian Azarity makes the catch. But Melky Cabrera has opened the scoring for the Giants. It's a 1-0 lead. Marlins Park on a Sunday afternoon with the roof closed, the AC on, and Melky Cabrera is still hot. A solo homer, a 2-out shot off of Ricky Nolasco, and the Marlins get a look at Matt Cain, who comes in at 4-2 with a 2.94 ERA. He's one of the best in the business.
Well, last year 12-11, but a 2.88 ERA. He's been the victim really for quite a while, and that's why his career record 73 and 75, 2 games under 500, but he's always been a victim of low run support.
Here's the 0-1. Reyes shoots that one out to short. Crawford gathers it in and throws him out. So an out, and here comes Omar Infante. Infante is playing second base. He's followed by Hanley Ramirez, Giancarlo Stanton in right field, Logan Morrison in first, Brian Peterson is in center field. John Buck will do the catching. Chris Coughlin's in left. And Ricky Nolasco hits ninth.
Cain happy to have retired Jose Reyes. Reyes was 9 for 17, now 9 for 18 in his career against Cain.
And Infante's had success. He's 5 for 15 against Cain. In that matchup against Nolasco, Cain was outstanding. 8 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. Giancarlo Stanton homered, and Hanley had an RBI single. And the Marlins won that ball game 2-1. Infante thought that pitch was in, and the count is 1-1.
I think we mentioned it in San Francisco. Cain, at 27 years old, is the longest tenured Giant. 7th year with San Francisco. That's amazing.
And he's going to be around a while.
Yes, he is.
Just signed a 6-year, $127 million contract. About $20 million a year for the right-hander out of Germantown, Tennessee. He has not missed a start. 7th year in the Giants rotation. As you pointed out, he always seems like he doesn't get a lot of run support, but you could say that about a lot of the San Francisco pitchers. And some of that has to do with the ballpark that he pitches in. 2-2 pitch. Infante hits that ball pretty well. Right center field. Pagan after it, and he makes the catch. Let's take a look at the San Francisco defense.
Yeah, a couple of balls hit pretty well by Reyes and Infante. Here's a look at the Giants defensively with Melky Cabrera, who has 5 assists. Pagan and Blanco, you're right, good speed in that outfield. Arias and Crawford, Terrio and Huff, and Posey's caught every game of this series. And it's a defense that's committed 50 errors, most in the major leagues.
Now Hanley Ramirez. Hanley is homered against Kane in 23 at-bats. 7 hits against him. Goes after a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Marlins welcome in the Nationals. A Memorial Day afternoon start at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and then night games on Tuesday and Wednesday. That one banged off of Posey's mask.
One thing about the defense, look at where Melky Cabrera is, way over in left center, so a lot of room down that left field line. They're not expecting Hanley to pull a ball down that area at all. They're kind of bunching him toward the gaps.
Well, this is an outfield for the Giants that has a lot of speed with Cabrera, Pagan, and Blanco. They cover a lot of ground. In this ballpark and in AT&T Park in San Francisco, that's very important. And that's the point about Kane. Yes, he doesn't get a lot of run support, and that's been tough on his record. He's under 500 in his career, but he's had the luxury of pitching in one of the best pitchers park in all of baseball half of his games. You ask Anibal Sanchez, Ricky Nolasco, and some of the Marlins stars if they'd like to pitch in San Francisco for half their games, and where do I sign up? Because that's been a good spot for a lot of the Marlins starters.
Yeah, and you picked the two guys who've been just outstanding at AT&T, Ricky and Anibal.
Counts 1-2. But there's no denying, you look at all the metrics and the numbers, the whip, the ERA, batting average against, and Kane is one of the elite starters, though his record does not show it. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball, and Hanley holds up on it.
Yeah, you can carry that a little further looking at his home and road splits career-wise, 32 and 39, so he's 7 games under 500 on the road.
Hanley sends that one out to center field. Pagan is there, and he makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Matt Cain. Giants sitting on a 1-0 lead. In high definition, thanks to the folks at H.H. Gregg in Miami. Good crowd here on a Sunday afternoon. The Marlins yesterday had over 30,000, 30,663 to see the Fish outlast the Giants 5-3. Sharp ground ball, diving stop. Infante spinning, and he got him by a step. Pagan, a fast runner, and Infante had to hurry. He did, and he got him.
Boy, we have seen Omar Infante go to his left, make that diving play numerous times already this year, and he seems to always come up with it. There's the dive, a spin. When he's making that dive, he has to decide which way he's going to spin to make the throw to first. Great job. Looked like he lost it momentarily.
He did. He had to pick the ball off the grass and rolled out of his glove as he was starting the spin. Coventry Healthcare second, 1-0 Giants. Aubrey Huff getting a start. Change up from Ricky, and now a breaking ball from Ricky. And it's 0-2. Huff, a guy that the Giants would love to have revert back to 2010. And Nolasco finishes him with a changeup. Ricky didn't throw him a fastball. Didn't have to.
You know, you usually see a pitcher who we can put Ricky in that veteran mode. We talk about how he schools a young hitter. Well, I'll tell you what, Ricky just schooled a veteran hitter, Aubrey Huff, with those pitches.
Joaquin Arias now. We've seen Arias at third base. That's the spot where the Giants have had Pablo Sandoval. And he's, the Giants hope, 7 to 8 days away from returning after the hamate bone surgery in his hand. Arias has played well at third base. 27-year-old Dominican.
Yeah, right now working on a little 6-game hitting streak. So he's hitting every game of this series.
Here's the 1-1. Curveball seems to be on in this one. It was a fastball that Melky Cabrera hit out to right with 2 outs in the first. Right center, Stanton and Peterson. That is an 8-pitch inning from Ricky Nolasco. Good stuff. 1-0 Giants.
En SAP por Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
In Miami, Ricky Nolasco, a nice second inning. Marlins back to work against Matt Cain, Giancarlo Stanton, Logan Morrison, and Brian Peterson. Stanton hits a little dribbler up the third baseline. Arias fires, just got it. That was close. Nice play by Joaquin Arias.
Well, that's a really nice play because he was playing back so far.
The next Coors Light Marlins watch party is coming up on Friday the 1st at the Sports Zone 84 Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale. The Marlins and the Phillies at 7:05. That's where we'll be. But you can be watching and win prizes. Meet Billy and the Energy team. Take advantage of great Coors Light specials at Sports Zone 84 Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale. Morrison takes a strike.
And this time, Rich, on the first pitch with nobody on base, the Giants employ the big shift on Logan Morrison.
We saw that early in this series, and the Giants always did it after the first pitch.
Yeah, I was told, I inquired a couple of Giants coaches, and they said, number one, they thought maybe if he was thinking about bunting on the first pitch, they wouldn't put the shift on, and then after the first pitch, they'd go ahead and get in the shift.
And as we've talked about, and it started in Cleveland, the hard part for Logan Morrison is don't let the shift get in his head.
Well, I'll tell you what, he had a great approach yesterday at the plate. Last two at-bats, an RBI double and a hard single.
High pop-up, and it should be playable. There's a variety of Giants in the area, and it's Huff who makes the catch. And so Matt Cain has retired all 5 that he's faced. Now he gets Brian Peterson. Tommy, this may be the earliest we've ever read this. The copyrighted telecast that you're watching is presented by the authority, the Miami Marlins, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. With Cain and Velasco, you got to get that out early. Peterson takes a strike. Brian Peterson with a 4-game hit streak. A hit in each of those 4 games, just 1. So but they always seem to come at an important time. Peterson, a guy that the Marlins saw last year as the 4th outfielder, and he really did a nice job. He's certainly very good defensively, and last year he was a good pinch hitter, good bench player. Getting a lot more time now with Bonifacio for the next month on the disabled list. One and two.
Cain is one of those. That last pitch, 85, probably a 2-seamer, but maybe a changeup that was a little harder than he wanted, but it was effective.
Back off of Cain, who knocks it down, picks it up, flips the first, and just gets Peterson. Cain answers with a 9-pitch inning. 1-0 Giants. Third live shot of the concourse here at Marlins Park, out by the Taste of Miami. Toyota trend. Marlins have won back-to-back season series against the Giants for the first time in the club's history. The 5th time overall. Marlins swept the Giants in San Francisco. They've won 2 of 3 here. If the Marlins can win this ball game, they will be 5-2 on the homestand with the Nationals coming in. But obviously, it's going to be a challenge because Matt Cain looks like he's sharp. Ricky Nolasco back to work. And in the 3rd, Ryan Theriot, Matt Cain, and Gregor Blanco.
Yeah, the Marlins, I think, starting to enjoy the comforts of home. 13-9 now at Marlins Park.
That breaking ball misses in. Those 2 pitches didn't miss by much. It looks early like Mike Malinsky not calling the high strike. The 2-0. That's a strike.
Malinsky lets you know quickly. Speaking of quickly, Mark Burley, he showed us the bruise on his stomach this morning where that line drive hit him.
Now some pitchers would say the ball hit me in the abs.
Yeah.
You know, the
six
pack. Burley said it hit him in the fat roll.
He said that's what it's there for.
But he made 3 really nice plays yesterday. That's a shot to left. Coughlin is there, and Chris makes the catch. Theriot, it's one of the better balls that the Giants have hit outside of the Cabrera home run. And here comes Cain.
You know, when Burley's on the mound, you hear this term, it's like you have an extra infielder out there. And that's exactly what he is.
He's not just an extra infielder, he's a really good extra infielder. Yeah. The chopper that he got, which started the rundown between 2nd and 3rd, just getting over to 1st and fielding a real low throw in which he ended up on his hands and knees but got the out. Those were all big outs in a game that got a lot tighter than the Marlins thought it would at the end. And that's the other issue that we haven't discussed, is the back of the Marlins bullpen. Heath Bell in the 2 games against the Giants, the 2 wins against the Giants, games 2 and 3 of the series, has been relieved of his duties in the 9th inning. Marlins skipper Ozzie Guillen has had to come out and take the ball from him, and in both cases the Marlins got a save from Steve Cishek and yesterday from Randy Choate. Guillen again maintaining, look, we've got to get Heath Bell right. The 1-2 struck him out. Nolasco with a breaking ball. Cain, who's a real good hitter, takes it. Here comes Gregor Blanco. Throughout the year, we here at Fox Sports Florida are proud to represent and support the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Great futures start here. Greatfutures.org/Fox Sports if you'd like to be involved as well.
I think what fans sometimes don't put together the whole picture the way a manager has to. If Bell isn't the closer, everybody else has a different role.
Well, and Ozzie knows too that Bell's not going anywhere because of his contract, a 3-year deal for big money, and so the options that Ozzie has are very limited, and he's got to get him right. And it's a 2-way street. Ozzie's going to give him an opportunity, but Bell has to take advantage of that opportunity. So it's going to be interesting to watch and see if the Marlins are in a spot today where they need to close the ball game. If it will be Heath Bell, or if Ozzie feels like someone else is better suited for the task. But Ozzie's saying after the game and before the game that Bell is still his closer. But as we've seen with Ozzie, that doesn't necessarily mean that he'll use him today.
That's a way of saying, well, he's still my closer, but I might not use him in a safe situation today.
Blanco takes up, And Nolasco walks the leadoff hitter for the San Francisco Giants. And again, that high strike not being called the low strike was called the ball as well. Pitch number 4.
See, generally, when you have two pitchers in Nolasco and Kane who are both around the strike zone, you're going to see those pitches called strikes.
Brandon Crawford. Blanco, a stolen base threat. He's got 5 of them, and the Giants have run in this series. Both teams have run in this series. Crawford, a couple of doubles, drove in 3 runs. Had a big 2-run double in the Thursday night 14-7 win by the Giants. The Marlins winning on Friday night 7-6, and yesterday 5-3.
We certainly want to go after Crawford here because you have the hottest hitter on the planet on deck.
Now there may be somebody in Japan, Korea.
We haven't checked the stats today,
but I suspect Cabrera on the planet is the hottest hitter. Maybe an American Legion ball, but that's American Legion ball. This is the big leagues. You get extra points for that. Fly ball, shallow left, Coghlan charging in, and Chris is there and makes a running catch. Nice play by Coghlan to the bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 San Francisco. It's Sunday, that means it's Kid Sunday, and we're joined now by Stevie. Hi, Stevie.
Hey.
What do you know down there? What's going on?
Well, I have some on Ricky Nolasco here. For all the Little Leaguers watching out there, Ricky Nolasco started playing baseball at age 4, even though the league minimum age was actually age 5. Now, he got better from learning from his older brother David, who actually was a player in the Brewers farm system for several years. But no one in his family actually thought that he'd become the Marlins' all-time franchise leader in wins 25 years later. Rich and Tommy, back to you.
Hey, Stevie, I know that Craig has been tutoring you, but it looks like the one thing he hasn't taught you is how to spill food on your shirt. So
no, he has not taught me that.
That's good.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I thought he did have a stain over it. No.
No, my shirt is perfectly clean. His is.
We could use an ironing now. No, he did it. Didn't he do a great job, guys? Have you watched him? You really 4 years now.
Yep.
You're doing it. Does a great job on Billy's Bunch. Really does.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Yeah, Billy's Bunch, a must-see every weekend. All right, thank you, Stevie. Here's John Buck. with Chris Coughlin and Ricky Nolasco. Matt Cain with the breaking ball. And for John Buck, a real dry spell right now.
Yeah, by the way, I think we'll see Stevie up here in the booth in the 6th inning. Yeah, John Buck 0 for his last 23.
And a lot of strikeouts, 11 strikeouts in those 23 ABs, the 1-2. Buck drives that ball left center field. Pagan dives, and he makes a tumbling catch.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, when you're 0 for 23, that ball's caught. When you're 17 for 23, it drops for a base hit.
Angel Pagan in center field. That is quite a play, because that ball was hit hard.
The Marlins have had some pretty good swings first time through the order. That time, Cain is helped out by some great defense by Angel Pagan. Because outfielders know, especially center fielders here, they know if they make a dive and the ball gets by them, there's a whole lot of room and it could be a whole lot of trouble.
We saw that yesterday with the man at the plate, Chris Coughlin, who dove for a ball. I believe it was Ryan Theriot who hit it. It glanced off of Coughlin's glove and ended up all the way out on the warning track. If Theriot had really been busting it and the game was close and it was in a spot where the Giants were ahead by a run or two, he may have tried to make that an inside the Parker. Here's the 1-1. Cain misses down low.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was thinking that. I think Tim Flannery, third base coach, was thinking that too. But because of the situation of the game, and no chances needed to be taken.
Coughlin breaks his bat and gets it into center field. So Chris is aboard. That's hit number 1 for the Fish. And before Nolasco arrives at the plate, let's scout this big right-hander out of Germantown, Tennessee.
Well, we've seen Cain now through the first time in the order. 3 solid pitches. There's no questioning that. He will elevate the fastball with 2 strikes, and we've talked about that. 2 games under 500 record in his career. Those things brought to you by Coventry Healthcare.
Ricky Nolasco now. Let's see if Nolasco can get the bunt down and move Coughlin up.
It's a great debate. I know you and I talked about it in San Francisco. The guy with the low ERA who has trouble winning games is under 500, or a guy like Ricky Nolasco whose ERA is higher but has a much better winning percentage.
The one stat that we had in San Francisco that tipped in Nolasco's favor is that Ricky a little better when he gets the lead at keeping the lead. Now, obviously, Cain doesn't get a lot of run support, but Nolasco doesn't get to pitch half his games in San Francisco. Marlins Park, even though it is spacious, the early returns are it's a very good hitter's park. Foul ball.
The other thing we found out through our extensive research is that most pitchers that we've talked to on the visiting side, we always ask about pitching in the ballpark and we refer to the spacious outfield, but most of the pitchers seem to really like the mound as well.
Pretty good speed with Coughlin at first. Nolasco squaring. And Cain nearly sent that one to the screen. 2-2. It would be interesting to flip the roles. Put Cain in a Marlins uniform for the last 6 years. Now, Ricky hasn't always pitched for teams that have been great. The Marlins have had some lean years while he's been here. They've had some pretty good years as well. And then stick Ricky in San Francisco's rotation and see how he fares. That would be an interesting comparison. Here's the 2-2. Pulls it back because scouts, one of the things they've always said about watching Nolasco pitch is that Ricky knows how to pitch with a lead. He pitches to the score. Reyes is on deck.
That's one of the great things we have privy to check with scouts and say, hey, what do you like about Ricky Nolasco? And the scouts are always very upfront, and they'll give us their opinion.
Coughlin from first. He's running, and Alasko swings, and it's a foul tip. The throw out. Coughlin didn't think he was. Mike Winters calls him out, and it's a double play, a strikeout, throw him out. Buster Posey nailing Chris Coughlin. Justin Ruggiano, who has seen big league time with the Tampa Bay Rays. In fact, he got called up to the Rays around this time last year, has joined the ball club. He was just acquired a day ago, and Kevin Madison sent back down to AAA.
Tough part for Kevin Madison, he's the left-handed hitter. And right now, the need is for a hitter and an outfielder, a good corner outfielder, left and right field for Ruggiano, and he's a right-handed hitter.
Melky Cabrera hits from the left side. He hits from the right side. He probably would hit if he was standing on his head right now. Look at that, 359, 4 homers. A couple have come here in this series. And he bangs one up the middle, and guess what? Cabrera has another hit. A leadoff single and a threat to steal a bag to lead it off for the Giants. AT&T trivia question. In 2000, the Reds retired Tony Perez as number 24. To honor Perez, Ken Griffey Jr. changed his number to
Have to think about that for a while. You know, with Melky Cabrera getting that base hit, hitting the home run his first time up, I was looking back, only 3 visiting left-handers have homered here at Marlins Park. Cody Ransom, Ike Davis, and now Melky Cabrera. And Logan Morrison and Chris Coughlin have homered from the left side for the Marlins.
Posey swings and misses. Nolasco's out in front 0-2. Cabrera has this season 7 stolen bases. Roberto Kelly, first base coach for the Giants.
Pretty good base runner, outfield.
And the 0-2 misses.
Trying to make that good pitch. That was a good slider he just missed with, to maybe get Posey to hit that ground ball and start a double play.
Hyundai bringing you Fox Tracks. Nolasco misses away. The count is 2-2. A Melky Cabrera home run. That's the only run of the ball game in the fourth in Miami. Nolasco with Cabrera at first. 2 more hits for the hit leader in baseball, Melky Cabrera. And I think I know that it's a month away, but get a pretty good feel that Melky Cabrera is going to be an all-star this year. He's leaning and he's running. Nolasco's pitch is outside, and Cabrera has it stolen easily. You could really see it when he was at first. He was leaning.
Leaning, got the good jump, got a good pitch to go on as well. A breaking ball down, backhanded by John Buck. Really not too much of a chance.
Breaking ball, ground ball, base hit, left field. Coughlin has it. Cabrera will stop at third base.
Well, I tell you what, sometimes what happens with a pitcher, and it happened to Ricky right there. Remember, he got ahead 0-2, tried to put away Posey, but as he tried to put him away, he kept missing. All of a sudden, he had to throw that breaking ball, get more of the plate to throw a strike, and Posey got himself a base hit.
And now the Giants are set up at the corners with nobody out in the fourth. Angel Pagan, Aubrey Huff, Joaquin Arias. The next 3 for San Francisco. And Pagan hits a fly ball to left. That's going to score the run. Cabrera tags. Coughlin has it. And the Giants stretch their lead to 2-0. You can pick up the Marlins' new 4 for $54 pack, which includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, 4 bags of chips, starting at just $54. The next 4 for $54 night is Tuesday night against the Nationals. Individual and group tickets are available online at marlins.com. Now Huff with Posey at first. Yeah, the Nationals arrive here later tonight. Marlins and Nationals tomorrow, a 1 o'clock start on Memorial Day.
And the Nationals play in Atlanta tonight. Sunday night game. But they've beaten the Braves 2 straight in that series in Atlanta.
Nationals made a tweak to their rotation. Remember the young left-hander who beat the Marlins up in D.C., Ross Detweiler. He's been taken out of the rotation. And Chin-Ming Wong, long road back from shoulder surgery, goes into the rotation, and it's a Josh Johnson, Chin-Ming Wong matchup on Wednesday night. Edwin Jackson and Anibal Sanchez on Tuesday night, and tomorrow it's Jordan Zimmerman, fine young pitcher, against Carlos Zambrano. That's the second time we've had the Z on Z matchup, right? Was it Zimmerman against Zambrano before?
No, it was Zito.
Zito. And we had the question, how many times had there been a Z versus Z matchup all time? And I think our crack staff found that 5 times in Major League history it had happened.
Yeah, Zambrano was the victim of Detweiler in Washington.
Slow roller. Morrison, nice play there. Reyes' relay, good play there. That's a difficult double play to pick up. Morrison fed Reyes perfectly, and Nolasco got over to the bag. Giants had a run, though. It's 2-0 San Francisco. On Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation. Drive sober or get pulled over. And by Lexus of Pembroke Pines. Find your best price, service, selection at LexusofPembrokePines.com. And I'm supposed to keep my concentration while watching that. Although yesterday, as I'm walking out of the garage, I was almost struck by someone driving a black Lexus IS 250, and it had the Lexus of Pembroke Pine license plate on it. Tommy, any idea who that might have been?
Well, with the sweet handling of that Lexus, I was able to maneuver my way around you.
Thank you. Thank goodness. Here is Jose Reyes with Omar Infante and Hanley Ramirez.
Not to mention that my wife yelled, "Look out!"
There's Reg. Here's the 0-1. And Kane doesn't get that call, and the count's 1 ball and 1 strike. Reyes bounced to short. Kane's given up 1 hit, the broken bat single by Chris Coughlin. The Giants have given him a 2-0 lead. Reyes drives that ball to right center, hits it pretty well. Back goes Blanco, and he reaches up. The Giant outfielders cover a lot of ground, and Blanco makes a nice running catch. AT&T trivia question had to do with Ken Griffey Jr. when Tony Perez's number 24 was retired. Griffey wore, I want to say, maybe 30. It is. It was the one.
That was his dad's.
Yes, that's why. That was the wild guess.
Yeah.
That's the number his dad wore when he broke in
and
1973.
Was a teammate of Tony Perez's for a lot of years.
There were a lot of future big leaguers who were playing around in that clubhouse in the 70s with the Reds. Infante is out.
The Marlins have to just, it's frustrating, but continue to stick to the game plan. They've had some pretty good swings against Matt Cain. Reyes has hit the ball hard a couple of times. Infante's hit the ball hard. Pretty good month of May for Cain. He's 3-1. But he's a guy you mentioned. He's never missed a start. All 9 starts this year. He's gone 6 innings or more. Very dependable.
Yeah, you can put 33 starts and 200-plus innings next to his name, and that's why I think why the Giants felt so comfortable in the 6-year, $127 million contract. And some people were wondering, well, if Cain gets a big deal, how come Lincecum doesn't have a big deal? The Giants have kind of gone year by year or given Lincecum a 2-year contract. Well, now with the struggles that Lincecum is having, that kind of changes the equation a bit, though the Giants are confident that he'll be back to being the freak sometime soon.
You know, it's interesting when you look at defensive alignments. Remember, we pointed out how Cabrera was well over in left center. He's not as far over this at bat for Hanley. Either he just forgot, or they're going to pitch him differently. But he's probably 10, 15 feet more toward left than he was into the gap the last AB.
One and two. Cain doesn't mess around. He is intense, all business. 5 times he's taken a no-hitter.
That's amazing.
Into the 7th inning in his career. Ooh. That one just missed.
He, as well as the rest of his infield, were all leaning and took a step toward the dugout thinking that was strike 3.
Monday bringing you Fox Tracks. That one just... when that dot is up against the black, that can be considered a strike. Here's the 2-2. Hanley to left field. And Melky waits for it.
There he is, right in the right spot.
Makes the catch. See, they must have pitched him differently. Or maybe he just forgot. stat. Mark Burley, remember, he was 1-4. He wasn't getting any runs. The Marlins have won each of his last 5 starts, and Burley has picked up 4 wins in those 5 starts. His ERA at 3.19. Now 5-4. The Marlins counting on Mark Burley. You can count on Just for Men Auto Stop for foolproof results.
You can pretty much put together a highlight reel of all the ways he's helped himself win those games.
Remember, it was his double that started the big rally against Jamie Moyer. Breaking ball and a strike. Joaquin Arias, Ryan Theriot, Matt Cain scheduled for the Giants in the top of the 5th in a 2-0 ball game. Giants have 3 hits. Marlins have 1. And Velasco is quickly out in front, 0-2. 2 of the Giants' hits by who else? Melky Cabrera, a home run and a single. Cabrera now has 71 hits already on the season. Wally Bell says no swing.
You know, Ricky with a couple of strikeouts today. He's also the all-time Marlins leader in strikeouts.
To right, Stanton over, and now in, and he makes the catch. So an out, and here comes Theriot. It's been a wild series up in Boston for the Rays, and we note that because the Marlins are going to see the Rays and the Red Sox a combined 12 times in the month of June. Home and home with Boston for 6, home and home with the Rays for 6. And it's scoreless right now in the bottom of the 2nd. And it was Jared Saltalamacchia who walked off with a home run last night against the Rays for the Red Sox.
Last night, there were 3 walk-off home runs. Mentioned the one by Saltalamacchia. Josh Hamilton hit home run number 20 on the year, a 13th inning walk-off.
That's a weekly occurrence this year.
And A.J. Ellis was having a great year for the Dodgers, catcher. He had a walk-off for them. And then there was a game, I'm not sure how to deem this one. I know we had a balk-off. We talked about that. There was a hit batter that brought in the winning run in a game against the Cubs and Pirates.
Well, there's a variety of ways you can walk off with a win. Remember last year the Marlins were in Seattle and Steve Cishek was trying to execute an intentional walk and threw a wild pitch and the winning run scored from third.
I think myself and Cishek have tried to forget that.
Thankfully, that was one of the games up there that we did not televise. I think by then you were in the Napa Valley.
By then, I think I was, yeah.
1 out here in the 5th. Ryan Theriot. 1-2 pitch. And it's in. Counts 2-2.
We have talked a lot about not only the Marlins outfield defense and where to position yourself, and we've seen it with the other clubs. The consensus is you probably would want to play a step or 2 more shallow to take away all the bloops that we've seen drop in with the spacious outfield. You're going to have more of those than you are going to have balls hit over your head.
And when you talk to pitchers who pitch in Colorado, they will, at least the majority of them will tell you, they'd rather have their outfielders a couple steps in than a couple steps back. Because if they're going to give a shot up over the head of the outfielder, they'd rather do that than have a few flares fall in. Stanton has had a busy afternoon out there, and he's had a couple balls his way here in the 5th inning.
No, that's a good point. And a lot of the flares or balls that aren't hit as well are on pitches that were good pitches. So that's why that pitcher would rather see the outfielder make that play.
And that's why when a couple innings ago we talked about the park factor and all the metrics that have come out in a small sample size of this ballpark. Tough park to hit home runs in, but a great park to hit in. Spacious gaps, the room in front of the outfielders. And right now, a fast infield. Oh, 1. Little tapper from Kane. Nolasco flip from Morrison, and a very uneventful 1-2-3. Fifth for Ricky.
Por Toyota.
And when you hear that music and that voice, you know that Cookie and Raul are right around the bend.
Hey, what's up? How are you guys?
Tommy, how are you guys?
We're doing good. We were talking, Cookie, there are certain pitchers, and I think Kane, even though he has great stuff, he's 2 games under 500. One of those guys, they always say, you stay close to this guy, you have a chance to beat him.
Well, no question about it, but, you know, you have to hold them a little bit more of the offense, you know, from the other side, and I think that he's done a tremendous job so far in today's game. And if you look at his records, I mean, he's amazing what he does in holding the opposition to almost nothing. You know, 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hits in the game that he pitches, and he's done that many, many times. So it's very difficult to really get a big rally going off of Matt Cain.
Hey, Tommy, Rich, what do you guys think of wins in today's baseball? Is it an overblown stat? Look at Matt Cain, 2 losses, more than victories, yet his numbers indicate he's a better pitcher. A couple years ago, we saw Felix Hernandez win the Cy Young with not that many wins on his record.
Yeah, it's a great debate. Who do you want, the guy who wins games or the guy who has a great ERA? Scouts would probably take Matt Cain.
I think that I would too, wouldn't you, Tommy?
Probably because of his consistency, the fact that he doesn't miss starts, he's out there all the time.
I mean, is this the true definition, would you say, of a workhorse pitcher?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I think that weighs in his factor, the fact that he has not been on the disabled list. But I will say this, and I had this conversation with Jack Morris before the season started about a guy like Cain or a guy like Nolasco, and Morris said what people don't realize that are just, you know, looking at the metrics and looking at the numbers is that pitchers pitch to the score a lot, and Morris was a great example of that. If he had a 5-run lead, Burley does that a lot.
Yeah,
it's just like, okay, hit it. I'm gonna just pound it with strikes.
Might give up a couple runs, but I keep the lead.
Absolutely. So his ERA takes a hit in that spot. Whereas if it's a 1-1 game or a tight game like this, then that pitcher approaches the hitters a little differently. I don't know. It's all good for conversation.
No, I think that is a very good point what you said. But the one thing that about Matt Cain is the fact that he can stand himself beyond 7th inning, and he can give you 8th inning and sometimes even go all the way, which I think that's exactly what you want out of a starter like Cain. The consistency of maybe giving your bullpen a day off, and he's capable of doing that.
Yeah, and let's see what the Marlins can do here. It's the first time today they've gotten a leadoff man on. Leadoff walk to Stanton.
All right, guys, have a good show.
All right,
Thank you, guys. You too.
Logan Morrison now with Stanton at first. Morrison popped to first in his only at bat, and he checks his swing on a pitch that's low, no swing. Says Mark Wegner, the third base umpire.
So many times, Rich, we judge swings not so much by results, but just how things look. And we mentioned how Lomo had some good swings yesterday. Even though he hit that pop fly, it was a good approach. He just got under a pitch.
The 1-0 pitch. Kane gets a strike. And it's a ball and a strike. Morrison, a couple hits in this series, and he's driven in 3. Yesterday, he had both of the hits and 2 of the RBIs. He drove in a run on a fielder's choice and then a double. And he burns third base side. Look at this. With the shift on, Morrison has himself a base hit.
Lomo's growing smarter day by day. That's the first time they had the shift that accentuated with a runner on base. They've been doing it a lot with nobody on base, but with a runner on first, they still had the big shift. And Lomo, all he had to do was get it on the ground.
And did you see Kane? Kane, watch him turn and look for the third baseman. And he's not there. And so now the Marlins have runners at first and at second, and here's Brian Peterson. You know, Morrison has been thinking about that, Tommy, for the last week, ever since Cleveland, when the Indians started that shift. And I wouldn't be surprised if Morrison's been taking a little extra BP and practicing that.
That alone will make other teams think twice before they put that shift on, if other teams are thinking about doing it.
It's a big at bat now for Peterson. Marlins have an opportunity in the bottom of the 5th against Kane. Pitch down low, and the count evens at 1-1. Neither of these pitchers have any issues with pitch count right now. Kane is comfortably at 57. Nolasco has finished his 5 innings in 68. 4-game hit streak for Peterson. Buck is on deck. Catches the corner. It's 1-2.
Thing about Brian Peterson.
That's not a strike.
That was not a strike. We've seen pitches closer called balls. So now we need to see a little consistency from Mike Malinsky.
And you saw Peterson muttering to himself.
Yeah.
I don't know that Brian's been in the big leagues long enough to turn and really get into it with an umpire, but
he's probably been in the big leagues longer than Malinsky, though.
And he goes after a high fastball. That's the scouting report that you had on Kane. He'll elevate with 2 strikes. And he threw the fastball by him.
Well, it's frustrating for a hitter. You know, you had that pitch called a strike the pitch before. So 1-2 is a whole lot different than 2-1. You might see a different pitch 2-1. But once Kane got to 2 strikes, he elevated and got the strikeout. Just his second strikeout of the game.
John Buck now. Buck is riding an 0 for 24. But he was robbed of a hit and probably extra bases in the 3rd on the diving catch by Angel Pagan. Pagan was in center. He came streaking over into the gap in left center and just got the ball before it hit the grass and then went tumbling. Here's the 1-0. Buck pops it up. Terrio calls for it. Infield fly. And the Marlins with a couple of empty at-bats after getting runners first and second and nobody out. And it's up to Coughlin now, the number 8 hitter, to get anything out of this inning.
Becomes a very frustrating inning if the Marlins don't get anything out of this inning.
But Coughlin had the only hit against Kane before the Morrison bunt single. And that was a broken bat job up the middle.
Of course, the big hit by Chris the other night, that 3-run homer.
And Kane is well aware that even though first base isn't open, third base is. And Ricky Nolasco, the pitcher, is on deck.
Remember the pitch that Coughlin hit against Lincecum for the home run with a hanging curveball. I've always thought as a number 8 hitter in this situation, this is where you might have to expand your strike zone a little bit. You may have to, because you don't want to leave it up to Ricky Nolasco with bases loaded.
Here's the 1-1. On the corner. Fox Track shows that Mike Malinsky's strike zone has been big in terms of in and out, especially with Kane, and especially against the left-handed bats, Peterson and now Coughlin. Coughlin takes down low, and it's 2-2, and it doesn't look like Kane going to give him much to hit in this at bat.
Yeah, if he tries to elevate, he'll try to make that fastball pitch out of the strike zone, or if he goes outside again, he'll probably try to just miss.
2-2. Ground ball into right field, base hit. Here comes Stanton. Blanco up with the ball. Stanton's going to score, and the Marlins are on the board. Chris Coughlin comes through, and it's 2-1 San Francisco. 2 hits for Coughlin.
Well, they shade Coughlin up the middle a little bit, and he was able to turn on a pitch, pull it, and got it past the second baseman, Terrio. There he is. With Terrio shading up the middle, the ball gets by him. No throw at all to the plate. Blanco went to second, but that allowed Stanton to score easily. Good AB by Chris Coughlin.
Now Nolasco with 2 outs. It's Morrison at second with Coughlin at first. And Kane misses up and in. That was a similar situation to a couple games ago when Steve Cishek was facing Melky Cabrera in the 9th with a couple outs. And in Cishek's case, he could just try to make the perfect pitch. And Kane had that luxury against Coughlin. That pitch misses away, and he's fallen behind Nolasco at 2-0. Now remember, Ricky was in this spot.
We were a little upset that he swung 2-0. He missed. He swung through a pitch. He got to strike 2 and then eventually hit a ball really well.
Yeah.
Make a double, right?
RBI double.
Yeah. So he must have the green light again.
It's the 2-0. He does. he took a mighty rip at a 2-0 fastball. And you're right.
I think he's just setting him up with that swing.
That was against Juan Nicasio of the Rockies. He hit a 2-run double. That was on Tuesday night. Let's see if Kane doubles up on the fastball. He threw it by him.
See, now Ricky has him right where he wants him. He has Kane thinking he can't catch up to my fastball. I'll throw it again.
I don't know if I do throw it again if I'm Matt Kane.
I don't think he will either. I think he'll throw his slider, but we'll see.
The 2-2.
He went with it again. He threw it by Ricky.
Marlins get a run and trail the Giants 2-1. In the bottom of the fifth, 2-1 Giants on top. Tomorrow, not only are the Nationals here, but it's an Outback Steakhouse Military Monday. Military employees, active duty, reserve, National Guard, veterans, and their dependents get free tickets with each military ID at the Marlins Park box office on the day of game. 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com. Well, Nolasco, after that last at bat, comes back out and he gets the top of the order for the San Francisco Giants. And the top of the order for the Giants has been active, successful, and dangerous in this series, despite the Marlins winning 2 of the first 3 games. This guy, all he had done coming into the game, has had 8 hits in this series. Gregor Blanco has walked and flied out. Nolasco misses outside.
You know, it's been this series, it's been the series in San Francisco. He came into this game in the 6 games he played against the Marlins this year, hitting .591.
Off the end of the bat, and it rolls out towards Hanley, who gathers it, throws it just in time. That was one of those balls. Remember the hit that Hanley had, the squirting roller? Well, that was the opposite. That one was coming Hanley's way.
Yeah, this, as it looks easy, is not easy because it's off the end of the bat. A lot of spin to it. Notice how Hanley got both hands down there, picked it. There's a close play at first. That shows you the speed and the way Blanco got out of the batter's box.
So Blanco is out, and here is Brandon Crawford. Crawford has popped out twice. Sharp ground ball, Morrison to his right. Long run for Ricky, and Ricky had to reach back, make the catch, and tag the bag. 2 outs. Let's check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Hey, Rich, thank you very much. You know, looking at all the years of Marlins baseball, they've played in the neighborhood of 1,000 series, and they're in an historic run right now in terms of unbeaten streaks in these consecutive series. They are right now, as you see, in 2012, they're 6-0-2. So if they lost today's game, they'd be 6-0-3 in 9 straight series. And if they win it, they would match what they did last year at 7-0-2. 9 consecutive series without a loss. Whatever the case, they'll be unbeaten after this one, and they're close now to the all-time mark set in 1997 of those 12 straight series without a loss. What that means, this is what you want to do in baseball. 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3, and if you can't, a 4-game series or 2, at least split, and that's how you move up in the standings. And that's what the Marlins have done. Guys?
Oh, you're right, Craig. The Marlins have done that to move into a tie for second place in the East with the Mets, and the Mets just keep winning. Right now, a 1-0 lead for the Mets over the Padres in the 5th. Cabrera pulls it foul. No surprise that it's Melky Cabrera who provided the first run of the ball game for the Giants.
Yeah, a fastball, one of the few mistakes from Ricky today. He left that fastball out over the plate. And Melky Cabrera, the 3rd left-hander, visiting left-hander, to hit one out to right field here at Marlins Park.
Melky Cabrera has 3 hits in this game, and nobody can get him out. 72 hits. 45 of his hits have come in the 26 games that the Giants have played in the month of May. It's incredible.
I mean, right now, if you're Logan Morrison, you want to rub up against him. You know, get some of that hotness off of him. But that's incredible. 8 hits in the series. And Blanco has 8 hits in the series.
Now Posey takes a strike. Buster Posey singled back in the 4th. Cabrera, a threat to run. And Posey takes up and in. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Cabrera stole second easily back in the 4th.
We talked about that Met lead, 1-0. Another terrific start so far by R.A. Dickey. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs. He struck out 6.
Posey hits a high fly ball to deep center field. Peterson going back at the track, looking up, reaches, can't get it. It bangs off the wall. Coughlin picks it up. Cabrera's going to score. Buster Posey hitting it about 415 feet, and Peterson appeared to get just a piece of it as he collided with the wall in center.
Buster Posey got most of that one. That's his second consecutive hit. Oh, a hanging breaking ball, hanging slider right out over the plate. Not sure if Peterson gets up high enough.
Nope.
Got there about the same time as the ball did. And that hurts because the Marlins got that run in the bottom half, and the Giants quickly answer back here in the top of the sixth.
I don't know that you're going to see too many center fielders make catches up against that wall simply because it's so deep that they don't have time to get back there on a ball. And Peterson's, he's playing in the standard spot for center fielders.
Yeah, well, it goes to what we were talking about. If you're going to play a couple of steps closer, you do leave yourself vulnerable for that one over your head, and you got a long way to go.
Yeah, well, normally when a guy hits at 415 feet, you're not going to catch it.
You're not going to get it.
Yeah. The Marlins are intentionally walking Angel Pagan to get to Aubrey Huff. Huff has struck out and bounced into a double play. It's 3-1 San Francisco with a run across here in the top of the sixth.
Melky Cabrera has scored all three of their runs.
He's had an incredible series. And now Huff. The matchup numbers kind of help dictate this, as well as the rough season that Huff has had. Huff is 0 for 2 in this ball game. His average well under 200. He's hit just 170. And against Nolasco, he's 2 for 19 in his career. Breaking ball catches the corner. Ball and a strike.
The Giants would love to get Aubrey Huff on track just to help their offense, but spent time on the disabled list. Since that time, he's just 2 for 14.
The 1-1. Change up. Morrison over, has it, bobbles it, drops it, throws it, and Ricky is there. That wasn't easy. Marlins get the out. Giants pick up a run. It's 3-1 San Francisco. It's Kids Sunday. We're all kids at heart, but Stevie is an actual kid. And he's an actual working kid. For 4 years now, you've been a correspondent on Billy's Bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they pay you well, right?
No, I get tickets to, if I ask for them, I get tickets to whatever game, so that's a good part about it.
Well, when we're done, let me give you the...
That's a little ahead of us.
Let me give you the number to my agent and get you in a little better spot there. You've been following everybody around. You've been following Craig around so far today. What have you learned in your day here at the ballpark, just following the crew around?
Well, live is a lot harder than it seems. It seems like, you just go on and you say it, but it actually, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of fans out there. There's a lot of people watching you. It adds to your nerves.
Well, we get nervous, but, you get over that. Jose Reyes is up right now in the bottom of the sixth in a 3-1 game. The Giants on top, and Matt Cain misses down low. You had a chance to sit down in the well, and I know that, especially for fans that sit close for the first time, it really is a different perspective when you're that close to the field, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to be watching all the time. Foul balls come, and there's a lot of things that are going on, and you have to pay attention.
How was the interview with Ryan Webb?
Oh, it was great. It was really funny. He was a great guy. Light guy, very good personality, great guy.
Well, you do a very nice job on Billy's Bunch. We watch it.
Thank you.
And here's the 3-1. Reyes takes a strike. Kids at school give you a hard time. Are you a pseudo celebrity? Do you?
No, it's a little of both. Some kids, they kind of like to poke, but they
would really love to have your job.
Exactly. It's more of jealousy than anything.
Here's the 3-2. That one almost hit Reyes, and he's aboard. So the Marlins opened this inning with a walk, as they did in the fifth when they picked up their only run. Coors Light sixth inning. It's the Coors Light freeze cam. This is the ball that Pagan caught. And boy, did he just barely get it, robbing John Buck of extra bases. And that is the Coors Light freeze cam, brought to you by Frost Brews.
He got a wow from Matt Cain on that one, too.
Reyes at first, top of the order now, Infante and Hanley Ramirez, but the top of the order against Matt Cain is 0 for 6 combined. Infante takes a strike. Best interview you've had in 4 years, player that you've most enjoyed working on Billy's Bunch, because you do have a lot of interaction with Marlin players.
Yeah, it's definitely a tie between Burke Badenhop and Cody Ross. Those guys were great. Great guys, always joking around, having a great time.
Well, you'll get to see him. We'll get to see him. Although Cody is now on the disabled list. Badenhop is with the Rays, and the Marlins play the Rays 6 times and the Red Sox 6 times in June.
I would expect, Rich, if Cody Ross can make the trip to South Florida, he will, just to get a glimpse at the new ballpark.
Yeah.
Infante is out number 1. Here comes Hanley Ramirez, who is 0 for 2. Now, one of the best episodes of all time on Billy's Bunch was the ice cream eating contest between you and Jeff Conine.
He challenged you again. I heard.
He did. He's not happy about it. He thought it was fixed, which it wasn't. It was a fair match, and I just came out on top.
Well, he's a competitor.
Yeah.
He certainly in his baseball career, a champion racquetball player. Ow! Hanley gets hit. Runners first and second. And so Reyes now down at second, Hanley down at first, and it's going to be a Giancarlo Stanton AB.
They've been trying all day, and they have successfully pitched Hanley inside. A lot of hard stuff inside. That one just got away from Cain. And all of a sudden, Giancarlo comes up with 1 out, a couple of men on base.
Stan, of course, has been hot in this series. Our Cholula spotlight on Stanton. Marlins are 8-3 when he has 2 or more hits in a game. Stan has walked and scored. He's bounced out. Now, as we pointed out, in his career against Cain, he has 3 hits, 2 of them homers, and that's in 11 at-bats. And so a big moment here. Marlins down a couple. Giancarlo Stanton up. And Cain misses up with a fastball.
And Stanton in this series, 7 hits. 2 of those have been home runs.
On this homestand, he's caused a lot of damage, a lot of havoc. A long homer off the scoreboard that temporarily broke the scoreboard. The home run off the bar at the Budweiser bow tie bar in left field. Apparently did not damage any of the beverages. Kane spins towards second.
The thing about this AB, with speed on the bases, we've seen Giancarlo send balls through gaps, hit balls hard to get to the wall down the line. If he hits a ball like that, Hanley has a good chance to score all the way from first base. And Hanley right now represents the tying run.
Remember, the Marlins had a double steal yesterday. Reyes inching away. And Stanton takes up and in, and it's 2-0. And now Buster Posey's on his way out to talk to Kane. It's one of the things the Marlins have done well this year, Tommy. They lead the National League in double steals, especially with the lead runner being Reyes. Hanley's not being held, so that's a given. If Reyes can swipe third, Hanley will get second easily.
They've done a good job, too, Rich, on opportunities. When they have stolen bases, they have a good percentage of that runner scoring a run as well.
So Stanton digs in. Reyes at second. Hanley Ramirez at first. Giants on top 3-1 in the bottom of the sixth. Stanton goes after that fastball and fouls it back.
Well, it's a great 2-0 swing. Nice and aggressive. Fastball looked like it was out over the plate.
Stanton, the tape measure home runs have been great. They've made national news, have thrilled the crowds here, but he has driven line drives all over this park on this homestand. 2 doubles yesterday. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball from Kane. It's 2-2.
That's a tough one. That's that nasty Kane slider.
Monday bringing you Fox Tracks. Pitch 4 was out, but a tough one to take, and now it's 2-2. You got great speed out there with Reyes at second, Hanley Ramirez at first. Stanton hits a drive to center. It's deep. Back goes Pagan. Shy of the track. Now comes back and has to make a basket catch. Both runners tag and both runners advance. A mammoth drive that's a long ways out there. 418 to the wall in that spot, and Pagan got to the track and then came back and made the play.
Yeah, he's happy he picked it up and was able to regroup and come in and make that basket catch. We'll see if they would rather pitch to Logan Morrison or Brian Peterson.
And remember, in his last at bat, the Giants had the shift that the Cleveland Indians put on Morrison, and it worked in Cleveland last weekend, and then Morrison bunted for a base hit. Kane steps towards third and then walks that way.
Reyes trying to distract him earlier this year. Reyes was able to distract a pitcher and came in to score on a balk.
Morrison, a little ground ball, first base side, and foul.
Stevie, have you learned more about the game since you've been a part of the telecast and doing something? Have you learned more about the game of baseball?
Today or just
all over the last 4 years?
Oh, yeah. A lot, a ton. Especially playing baseball locally. You know, you can see where some of the stuff that I've learned, especially from the pros, not as much, but there is parts that come into it when you actually play the game, and it's a lot. It's great.
Here's the 0-1. Fastball out. It's a ball and a strike. Reyes opened the inning with a walk after Infante flied out. Hanley Ramirez was hit by a Matt Cain fastball. Giancarlo Stanton with a fly ball. The deep center moved both runners up, but Kane is an out away from getting out of the inning. Morrison, a ground ball up the middle, backhanded there. Terrio's throw got him at first. Nice play, Ryan Theriot, and the Giants hang on to a 3-1 lead. Top of the 7th on a Kid Sunday. Our kid reporter, Stevie, I don't think we can call you a kid reporter anymore. You're as tall as Conine is now. It's been
I've already passed up Craig.
I mean, it's been 4 years, and you were a kid reporter then. You're almost like junior reporter, like Jimmy Olsen, the Cub reporter for the Daily Planet now.
It's been great. I mean, especially just growing up with baseball is a great thing, especially being able to be so close to the Marlins especially. It's been great.
What year are you in school?
I'm about to finish my 9th grade year.
Okay. Now that you're in high school and you've had a chance to work on television and be around baseball, have you had any thoughts about where you're headed to college and what you might want to do after that?
Not specifically any colleges, but there's broadcasting at my school, and I've been looking maybe to do that. But definitely broadcasting and reporting is definitely something that I'm strongly considering after college.
Well, one thing you always want to do when you're a broadcaster is make sure you get all the drop-ins and commercials in, like the Jam Lexus game reset. That an important part.
The disclaimer is always a good one to practice.
Ryan Theriot is up.
See, we should have saved the disclaimer and had Stevie read it.
It would be illegal, Tommy, to do the disclaimer twice.
Well, that's what I mean. We should have saved it.
Well, we'll send the card home with him. He can, that's some homework.
It's a homework assignment.
Theriot up with 1 out. And a breaking ball strike from Nolasco. 3-1, Giants on top. Theriot, a nice play. And if you noticed on that throw, it was picked not by Aubrey Huff, but Brandon Belt had come into the game, and he was at first base.
Who's a terrific first baseman, defensive-wise.
Ground ball, Infante gets the big hop and flips it to first base. Now, you probably have some guys in your class that would enjoy the all-you-can-eat special, which includes a Legends silver ticket, all-you-can-eat hot dogs, nachos, peanuts, popcorn, soda, and water for just $34. The next all-you-can-eat game is on, hey, that's tomorrow, Monday. Nationals Marlins on Memorial Day at 1:10. Do you go to games when you're not working, not being the...
Yeah, actually, the last game I went to was the one where Stan broke the scoreboard, and that was great. I sat third base side, and that ball got, if you blinked, you missed it. It was
It was the fastest.
Fast, yeah.
It was the fastest ball recorded off the bat on a home run since 2006.
I heard it was like
since
122.
Yep, it came in at 73 and went out at 122.
How about your impressions of this beautiful new ballpark?
It is. You can't even describe it. It's beautiful. There's so many great points to it. I like the sculpture even. A lot of people don't like it. I like it. I think it's nice.
Especially when it's going off.
Yeah.
Peterson is there. All right, Stevie. Thank you.
Thank
Congratulations.
you,
Keep up the good work.
Thanks,
Thank
Stevie.
you.
All right.
Giants on top of the Marlins here in Miami in the bottom of the 7th. Melky Cabrera continues to be the hottest hitter in baseball. 3 for 3, a homer. He has scored all 3 San Francisco runs. Chris Coghlan in the 8th spot has a couple of hits. Drove in the only run, and Matt Cain has held the lead right now. San Francisco with a 3-1 lead. The attendance here, 30,199 in the house on a warm and humid day in Miami. Marlins will be at it tomorrow. Remember, a Memorial Day 1 o'clock start against the Washington Nationals. Coors Light, cold, hard fact. (13-13) when you go Monday through Thursday, but once you get into the weekend, it's 13-8.
Yeah, right now, Joey Cora, Eduardo Perez, I'm sure Ozzie, they like to see that one key base hit. They've had a couple of opportunities the last 2 innings with some men on base, with some men getting on base early. Stanton hit the ball well, just got under it a little bit, hit it well over 400 feet to straightaway center, but Bagan was there to make the catch.
And the Nolasco-Cain rematch right now favors Matt Cain, though Nolasco has not pitched that poorly. Cain has just been a little bit better. You see just the 3 hits, couple walks, and 3 strikeouts. Brian Peterson, John Buck, Chris Coghlan scheduled here in the bottom of the 7th. And if the inning goes a little further, you'll probably see a pinch hitter for Nolasco. Ricky's due up 4th in the inning.
You have Greg Dobbs waiting in the wings.
Peterson struck out back in the 5th inning. That's when the Marlins got their run. A walk to Stanton, a bunt single by Logan Morrison, and a 2-out base hit by Chris Coghlan.
last time Peterson was up, there was a questionable call for a strike, and then Kane went upstairs to strike him out on a high fastball.
Peterson rips it into center field.
Didn't
base
get
hit.
that high fastball. It's a difference when it's early in the count.
It gets by, and Peterson races to second.
Great job by Petey. Watching Pagan all the way. Pagan booted the ball, let it get by him. He's made some terrific plays this series, but let that ball get by him. And Peterson didn't let that high fastball get by him. It's a whole different story early in the count. There's the boot, and never hesitating was Peterson rounding first base, and he got to second very easily.
Now John Buck.
So 3 innings in a row now. The Marlins have gotten that leadoff man on base.
Buck lined to center, popped out his last time up. And Kane opens with a breaking ball for a strike. Nobody has budged in the Giants bullpen. Dan Jennings was up in the Marlins pen. Peterson at second, 0-1. And Buck swings and misses. There's Jennings. Now you're in a spot here if you're John Buck. He's 0 for his last 25 with 11 strikeouts. He can't afford a strikeout here. He would love to just put the ball in play and at least move Peterson 90 feet away. And he strikes out. Fastball. He threw it by him.
Boy, it's been a tough go for a guy who takes a lot of pride in what he does. Takes pride behind the plate, calling games, but very frustrating for John Buck.
So now it's Coughlin, who is 2 for 2 against Kane. The Marlins unable to advance Peterson on that at bat. And it is Dobbs who pulls in on deck. Ball and a strike.
Chris has had some real nice at bats in this game.
And you can see a much different Chris Coughlin right now than early in this season when he was getting a start every 3, 4, 5 days. Pulls it on the right side. Terrio flips to Belts.
Wait, Terrio almost lost his footing as he was making that throw.
And so Greg Dobbs comes up. Now Greg Dobbs continues to climb up the charts in terms of career pinch hits. And he's tied with some real elite company right now. 79, 79, Tommy Hutton and Greg Dobbs.
It's a big list.
That's a big mustache. Next is
the 70s going all the way right there.
John Cangelosi is up next. Darrell Ward. Marlins would sure like to see him get number 80 right here and drive in this run. You don't get too many opportunities against Matt Cain, and the Marlins have had their opportunities in the 5th, the 6th, and here in the 7th. That one almost hit him, and that's the, that ground ball to Terrio. That's the importance of Cain striking out Buck from the Giants' perspective, because Coughlin, a good contact guy, now a ground ball is just a ground ball. Whereas if the Marlins were able to move Peterson to third, the ground ball makes it 3-2.
Thing about getting Dobbs in this situation, you know you're going to get him against Kane, and he's not going to have to worry about Affeldt or Javier Lopez.
And he's been careful with them. It's 2-0. Reyes is on deck. Peterson at third. Dobbs takes away, and that's what Kane has done here. He's gone away, and away.
Even if he loses Dobbs, keep in mind Jose Reyes has had a good history against Kane, and he's had some good at-bats today. Doesn't have a hit, but he's had some good swings.
Let's see what he gets. 3-0. That's a strike. Marlins are down by 2, but look what they've done this year. The most in the National League in coming from behind. 17 of their 26 wins have been come from behind wins. That's out, and Dobbs takes the walk, and here comes Reyes. You got a sense that Kane wasn't real comfortable facing Dobbs.
No, I don't know. I mean, Reyes, as I said, has had good ABs, and this is a lot different than facing a pinch hitter up there for the first time. But you're right. He looked like he didn't want to come in with anything. He stayed away from Dobbs.
Reyes walked in the 6th. Hit a fly ball to the warning track in deep right center. And a sharp ground ball. Those are the 2 ABs that Tommy talked about, where he barreled it up both times.
There are his numbers, even with the 0 for 2, 9 for 19 against Kane.
He's got that right side open with Dobbs being held at first. Drives it into right field. That's a base hit. And the Marlins are a run closer now. Peterson scores. Dobbs at second. Here comes Infante.
Yeah, you knew that Reyes was on him and seeing good pitches and having good swings. And there's another good one. And yeah, Bochy may be saying to himself, might have left him in there 1 hit or too long, but Bruce Bochy going out to the mound right now.
And Bochy asks for the baseball, and that's it for Matt Cain. He's going to leave the Giants up 3-2. The Marlins with runners first and second. Sergio Romo coming in. We'll introduce him when we return. Second and 2 outs. Omar Infante steps in. He's had success against righties this year, and he faces a really tough one in Sergio Romo. Romo doesn't have the commercials, the headlines, and all the stuff that Ryan Wilson does, but he's just as important to the Giants in their pen. His breaking ball misses outside. He has ridiculous numbers.
Yeah, they're crazy. And you look at that delivery, that slinging sidearm. He'll actually throw more sliders than fastballs. An .064 ERA, 19 strikeouts in his 14 innings.
Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball is out. Romo, among relief pitchers that are active right now in the game, has the highest strikeout to walk ratio at 5.55. So walks are rare and strikeouts are plenty with this guy.
And a lot of people wouldn't get that answer. Sergio Romo.
2-0 pitch.
There it is. He loves that slider. He's thrown 3 in a row.
And that one he brought back over the plate. He started it at Infante's hip. And now it's 2-1. Marlins have a run here in the 7th. Jose Reyes delivering it with an RBI single. Reyes is at first. Greg Dobbs is the runner at second. The 2-1. He went after it. That's a tough pitch to lay off. That's 2-2.
He'll tantalize you with 2 strikes and stay out there. I'd be surprised if he threw a fastball. You can't rule it out. His money pitch is that slider.
He has struck out 10 of the last 17 hitters that he's faced. Make it 11 of 18. Wow. Sergio Romo. Fear that beard.
Ballpark 3-2 San Francisco over Miami as we go to the 8th. As you know, the Giants play at AT&T Park in San Francisco. Last night, though, the big news in minor league baseball was at AT&T Field in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where Marlins prospect Kyle Skipworth, their catcher, hit for the cycle. He had a grand slam in the game. He busted out of a 3-for-30 slump with the 4 hits, including the triple as his last at bat. And that got him the cycle, becoming the 3rd Marlin catcher to do it, to get the cycle in a 13-10 win for the Suns. Skipworth, who was batting well under 200, raised his average 24 points to over 200. Now he's their first-round pick, as you recall, in 2008. And now 22 years of age. Great moment for him as the minor league AA team won in Chattanooga. Guys, let's go back to you.
All right, thank you, Craig. Randy Choate on the mound for the Marlins. So this Ricky Nolasco, Matt Cain matchup, which went Nolasco's way on May 1st. Right now, Cain, after 6 2/3 innings, has the advantage, and both bullpens take over from here. Cain gave up 2 runs, 1 of them earned. Nolasco, 7 innings. Ricky, 5 hits, 3 runs, all of them named Melky Cabrera, and 2 walks and 2 strikeouts.
Remember, it was Randy Choate who came on to face a couple of hitters. The last hitter he faced yesterday was Gregor Blanco, and he struck him out. And he's back out there again to face Blanco.
Brandon Crawford, and then Melky Cabrera himself, who was 3 for 3 in this ball game. In fact, he has 3 of the 5 Giant hits. He has scored all 3 of the Giant runs.
And that's the reason Choate comes in here in this situation. You have Blanco, a lefty, Crawford, the lefty, and Cabrera, the switch hitter. Yeah, Melky Cabrera has upped his average now to 365.
I wouldn't be surprised if his agent's been on the phone the last couple weeks with Brian Sabian, the general manager of the Giants, saying, hey, how do you like my guy? And wouldn't you like to have him for more years to come?
Well, he's been calling Brian Sabian here in South Florida because Sabian's with the ball club. The last couple of days, we've also seen he's a special assistant to the general manager, lives in South Florida. We've seen Felipe Alou at the ballpark.
Choate's 1-2 pitch. Little pop up, Coghlan racing in, and he's there with a diving catch. Chris Coghlan.
Boy, the difference in a ballpark like here and a ballpark such as Citizens Bank in Philly or Great American and Cincy is that you make that catch without having to dive because you're not playing as deep. But a great effort. That ball just slicing, kept going away from Coghlan. He stayed with it, and a nice play.
Brandon Crawford now. Crawford is 0 for 3, having popped out twice and bounced out. Marlins find themselves down a run against the Giants. And Choate with a breaking ball. I've mentioned Brian Wilson when I was talking about Sergio Romo. Giants have lost Wilson. They lost Guillermo Mota as well. Mota suspended 100 games for testing positive for a banned substance. Santiago Casilla has been the Giants' closer, and he's been really good. He's 11 of 12 with an ERA of 1.37.
So their bullpen is solid, but you can see with Mota there, with Brian Wilson there, where their strength really lies.
Yeah, they would go from solid to lights out.
Yeah.
Crawford with the count 2-1. Be an interesting watch to watch the Giants the rest of the way in the National League West. Are the Dodgers going to be that good all 6 months of the season? Are the Diamondbacks going to revert back to the form of last year where they were terrific, especially in the second half, and ended up winning the division? Arizona's 10.5 back. The Giants are 7.5 back of Los Angeles, who is 31-15, the only team in baseball with 30 or more wins.
I think you have to figure, if you're Bruce Bochy and a Giant fan, or a Kirk Gibson, a Diamondback fan, you have to figure the Dodgers may come back to the pack a little bit. At least you hope so anyway.
Three-two bouncer, Reyes' way. 2 outs for Choate. Now here comes Melky Cabrera. Well, you can help that guy or any of your favorite Marlin player get to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game by going to Marlins.com and voting. You can vote a maximum of 25 times. 100 fans will be randomly selected to each win 2 free Marlin tickets, and 1 grand prize winner will receive a 22-person luxury suite for a game. Go to Marlins.com and vote now. Randy Choate is headed out. Pitching change. It's 3-2 Giants. Cam, it is new to the telecast, a welcome addition to the telecast. That looks really, really good right about now. Ryan Webb for the Fish with nobody on in the 8th, but the man at the plate, Melky Cabrera, has 8 hits in the series, driven in 7, a couple homers, 3 hits in this game. He has scored 3 runs.
Well, Ozzie had a couple of choices. Leave Choate in to have Melky Cabrera hit from the right side, or bring on Ryan Webb and have him stay on the left side.
He's up to 365 and starting to push David Wright. Wright came in hitting at 390. Cabrera has streaked past Carlos Ruiz.
David Wright 0 for 2 in the Mets game.
Mets continue to lead the Padres 2-0 in the 8th. And R.A. Dickey's still in there. He's got a 3-hit shutout. All-star R.A. Dickey. I think that that's a good possibility.
When you're hitting 365, you can chat with the umpire, say, yeah, that was a little outside. Everything just feels good when you're up there.
Man, everything feels good for that guy right now. Melky Cabrera, 4 for 4. And now Posey, who drove him in with a double the last time up.
Remember how Steve Cishek the other night was able to backdoor sliders? Well, that's what Ryan Webb did on the first strike, but that one got a little too much of the plate. You're as hot as Cabrera. You just stroke that ball into center field.
Runner goes. Buck's throw. Hits the runner. Rolls into center field. Peterson picks it up. And Cabrera may be hurt. Looks like he got it in the mouth.
Ball got him somewhere on the face or the helmet.
The throw was into the runner.
He got a really good jump. Let's see where the ball catches him.
Oh,
yeah,
the glove.
It's more the glove.
So it's not the ball, it was the glove and possibly the helmet that came down as well.
So Melky Cabrera doing a little bit of everything. It's his second stolen base. 4 hits on the day. 9 hits in the series. Ball skips by. Glove finds Cabrera's face.
Fat lip, you know what? When you're hitting 367, fat lip is nothing.
Rich, he's had 3 4-hit games now already this season.
Now, with 2 outs, Webb against Posey, and all Posey needs is a single here. His double bounced off the wall in straightaway center. That was in the 6th inning. Just a wild game in Cincinnati. 7-5, the Reds lead the Rockies in the top of the 8th. There have been 8 home runs in that game. Matt Latos and Jamie Moyer absorbing the damage. All the home runs that Latos gave up were solo shots. Posey, Reyes has it, and Jose has played so well at shortstop, throws him out. The Marlins survive another Melky attack. 3-2 San Francisco. Clevelander Cam. I like that. Underwater and now up periscope. Bottom of the 8th inning, 3-2. San Francisco on top. And Sergio Romo stays in. Romo came in and got the strikeout of Infante in the bottom of the 7th. Hanley, Ramirez, Giancarlo Stanton, Logan Morrison. So Bruce Bochy is sticking with his best reliever for the teeth of the Marlins order in the bottom of the 8th.
Really, and you talked a lot about Romo last inning. So tough on all hitters, especially right-handers. More strikeouts than innings pitched. He's been a solid guy the last 3 years out of that Giant bullpen.
Hanley's 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch. That was back in the 6th against Matt Cain. Slider number 1. Did he throw anything but a slider to Infante?
No. So every pitch he's thrown so far, he's thrown 6 have been sliders.
Yeah, I would fear Romo's beard more than Brian Wilson's beard. I think that's a little more stylish and a little more intimidating. Backing up is Arias, and his throw is in time to get Hanley Ramirez.
I'll tell you, Arias has had a nice defensive series. Done a nice job over there at third.
Now Stanton, who has bounced out, flied out.
I think Lopez may be getting ready for Logan Morrison.
Slider is a ball.
I think fans in Angel Land are resting a little easier. Albert Pujols all of a sudden is homered in 3 consecutive games.
He had a monstrous shot last night in Seattle.
He's hit in 6 straight. So starting to turn it around. Still, though, his batting average at .232.
Two and one.
I don't know about that one.
So he's thrown 3 sliders to Giancarlo. Posey sets up out.
It's not only the pitch, it's his delivery, too.
Well, there are guys that have a good enough slider like that you just can't hit it. I can remember not too long ago, but a while back, a guy that had some great years for the Yankees, Jeff Nelson, right-hander.
He had that 3/4 sidearm delivery, too.
Stanton takes outside.
See, that's a good pitch to take. I'll tell you, though, with the count 3-2, this next pitch, it becomes a harder pitch to take because Romo's going to try to go out there again.
If it starts at your hip, it's coming across the plate. That's the hardest thing. If it starts on the inside part of the plate, it's diving outside. 3-2. He threw a fastball.
How about that?
That may be the first one he's thrown in the ball game, and he loses Stanton. Bochy was already out of the dugout before Stanton got to first base, and Romo and his sliders of death will exit the ball game. And so Morrison will face the big lefty Lopez. Strap in, kids. 1 out. The Giant lefty comes out. Now, his ERA was minuscule before he came in and got knocked around in what was the only Giants win of the series on Thursday night. Gave up 4 runs in an inning.
And one of Logan Morrison's base hits yesterday was against their other lefty, Jeremy Affeldt.
This lefty, though, has been especially tough on left-handed hitters. Morrison 0 for 3 against him. Javier Lopez, in his last 21 matchups against left-handed batters, they are 1 for 21. He misses away. And he's in there, and you've got Brian Peterson up next.
Well, the Marlins down by 1, trying to tie this game, go ahead, try to win their 19th game for the month of May.
That misses to Morrison. Now, this is an interesting spot here because you got the lefty that's come in, but the Marlins do have a right-handed bat or two. And so Bruce Bochy has his right-hander up, Santiago Casilla, his closer. That's out, and it's 3-1.
And then you look at it this way: if you're Ozzie Guillen, all right, he sees Casilla ready to go in the bullpen. So if he were to pinch hit for Peterson, a right-handed bat, then he'd probably have to see Casilla. So you have to decide: do you want Ruggiano against Casilla or Peterson against Lopez?
Justin Ruggiano just called up. Morrison swings and misses. And it counts 3-2.
The wheels turning a little bit, both sides, both managers.
Stanton does not have a big lead at first, and Lopez steps off.
Yeah, this is not a situation you'd see Stanton on the move on a 3-2 1-out pitch,
especially with a lefty on the mound. Got him. So Morrison strikes out, and Lopez's dominance of lefty bats continues. Peterson is going to come out of this ball game. And let's see if
sinking fastball.
If Bochy indeed goes to get Casilla for what would be a 4-out save, if he in fact could save it. Bochy is wandering around. He hasn't come out. Ruggiano just joined the ball club. The Giants, I'm sure, are scouring their scouting reports on him.
Now he's put the ball in Bruce Bochy's court, making him make a move. And it looks like Bochy's going to the bullpen to bring in Casilla.
So this is an interesting spot for a guy who just joined the organization yesterday and now finds himself in the big leagues. He was having a very good year in Oklahoma City, the AAA outpost for the Houston Astros. He was hitting .325, 13 doubles, 5 homers, and his on-base percentage was .409. And now he faces the nasty right-hander, Santiago Casilla. And it's a 1 o'clock start on Memorial Day. The Washington Nationals and the Miami Marlins square off. Z's on the mound. Jordan Zimmerman, Carlos Zambrano, Ian Desmond, Bryce Harper, Ryan Zimmerman. The Nationals, a terrific story this year. And they play Atlanta tonight in Atlanta. The Nationals are 10 over at 28-18. This would be Santiago Casilla.
Yeah, who's taken over that closer role. Hard fastball. He throws harder than Sergio Romo. He'll use a slider and a curve. Sometimes the curve has a little trouble with his control, but his fastball is mid-90s.
And this is quite a debut for the Marlins for Justin Ruggiano. Fastball up, Texas A&M product. Guy that spent some time in the big leagues with the Rays. 46 games last year. Hit .248 with the Rays. Originally a Dodger draft back in '04. And he came over in the Dioner Navarro trade, which included Mark Hendrickson. Pulls a ground ball foul, and it counts 1-1.
Unfortunately, well, fortunately it was foul, because had it been fair, Arias playing right on the line. He was right there for it.
One of the things Ruggiano has going for him, aside from being a right-handed bat, as you pointed out, he can play all three outfield positions. Goes after the fastball, and it's got some heat on it. 95 from Casilla.
Yeah, there's that mid-90s fastball that he features.
Told you, Casilla, 11 of 12 in save opportunities. Right-handed hitters are hitting a .148 against him. You know, it's like, here's the decision that Ozzie had to make. He could have left Peterson in to face Lopez. Left-handed bats, won for their last 22 against Lopez. Or he could get Ruggiano to make his Marlins debut against Casilla. And right-handed hitters are hitting .148 against him.
Yeah, it's kind of the old flip a coin, and you go with your gut feeling sometimes.
Struck him out. Ruggiano looks at a called third, and the Giants bullpen comes up big here in the bottom of the 8th to the 9th in a one-run game. To the telecast, the Clevelander camp, with all the fun and the partying going on, and the Clevelander out in left field. Chris Coughlin's going to move over to center field. And after the pinch hit appearance, Justin Ruggiano finds himself in left field. Ryan Webb will stay in the ball game and try to keep it a one-run game and at least get the Marlins into the ninth down a run against Santiago Casilla.
Ruggiano, just thinking about it, out there trying to acclimate to the Marlins, nor did San Francisco. Neither team took batting practice, so first time out there on the field, checking things out, making sure he positions himself, even though he's used to playing left field and right field.
You think they had a Clevelander type club in Oklahoma City, Tommy? Maybe not. Angel Pagan, Brandon Belt. First two out of the box. Pagan dumps a bunt down the third base line. It's foul.
Just thinking about it, if they did, they would probably have some good barbecue.
Yes, that is a good barbecue town. That is actually, is it the Brickyards? Is that what they call it? Down in, not the Brickyards for the Indy 500, but the Brick Town in Oklahoma City. It's kind of a smaller version of the ballpark in Arlington, which is now called, what, Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Or something to that effect.
I think right now they're calling it Josh Hamilton's ballpark.
One ball, one strike on Angel Pagan. Ricky Nolasco went 7. Randy Choate got a couple outs in the 8th. Webb gives up a drive into right center field. That's trouble, especially with the speed of Pagan. To the wall it goes. Coughlin has it. Pagan's already around second and on his way to third. Leadoff triple in the 9th. And the Giants look to add an insurance run and another hit from a guy that has hurt the fish in this series, Angel Pagan.
Remember, it was Joe Espada telling us the other day, any ball hit into that gap that gets near 392 or left of it out toward that area, average speed, you're going to make it to third base with a triple, and Pagan has better than average speed.
Randy St. Clair is on his way to the mound. We got Brandon Belt. Then Joaquin Arias. And against this Giants bullpen, obviously you'd like to, at the very least, get to the 9th down a run. Now that's in doubt with a runner at third and nobody out. The Mets' 2-0 lead over the Padres continues. Frank Francisco is in trying to shut it for the Mets. R.A. Dickey went 7 1/3, 3 hits, no runs, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk for Dickey.
He has been remarkable with the control he's had of that knuckleball. Here's how you're thinking if you're Bruce Bochy. You're going to give Belt a chance to drive in this run. If he doesn't, then you got to file away and look for a squeeze from Arias, who's on deck, who's the next hitter.
Belt's first at bat of the ball game. He came in 3 innings ago defensively at first base. One of the areas where the Giants aren't getting the production that they hoped for is first base. Brandon Belt, Brett Pill. That platoon hasn't quite worked. Huff got the start there today, and Huff is scuffling. And some people ask, well, geez, how did the Giants do it in 2010? You forget that Huff had an incredible year. He was in the MVP balloting, and rightfully so, with the totals that he had in 2010. Cody Ross, of course, got hot at the very end for the Giants, especially in the postseason. Webb misses in. The count's 2-2.
You have quite a few National League first baseman struggling, kind of a lock for the All-Star team would be Joey Votto, Cincinnati.
And normally there was a long line at that particular position in the All-Star balloting. But
Nope.
Albert Pujols is gone.
Prince Fielder's gone.
Prince Fielder's gone. Gabby Sanchez is in AAA. He was an All-Star there last year.
There will be a first baseman this year in the American League that might get squeezed out because of the number of qualified first basemen over there.
Counts 3-2. The infield's still in. Belt has weighted Webb out. That is strike 3 right down the middle. 96 miles an hour. Now, here's what you talked about. If you're Bruce Bochy, do you get creative? Do you try to squeeze home this run with Arias?
I'm sure it's in the back of his mind. By the way, Ryan Webb, the last couple of times out for him, he's had some terrific velocity shown on that last pitch, 96. But it's certainly a play you have to think about. I'm sure Ozzy's thinking about it too.
Infield still in. Arias, a couple fly ball outs and a ground ball out. Pagan at third. And Webb from the stretch. He's coming, squeezes on, and the Marlins got him on a pitch out. Buck's throw out.
Everybody thinking along those lines. Ozzy had it nailed.
Pagan says he wasn't tagged. Third base umpire Mark Wegner pretty sure about it, and Pagan keeps the argument going. I don't think Wegner is going to let him stay out there much longer.
Well, Ozzy thinking first pitch. The pitch out is called. John Buck does a good job. It looked like it grazed him. If he got him, he didn't get him by a whole lot. Hanley on the top of the jersey. Maybe not.
I think he got around it. But if you're the umpire, watch the angle that Wegner has, which is similar to this. He sees the glove go to the back right there.
That's what he sees.
The count is 1-0. Arias did not offer at the pitch out. That's a big, big out. And Webb gets a strike, and it's 1-1. Remember that, you flash back to the play where the Marlins didn't get the out at third base with Ryan Webb, or rather with.
Yeah, from that angle, it looks like Hanley's glove bends just a little on his backside, but it's really hard to tell.
Remember when Brett Hayes was catching and the Marlins didn't get the out at third? That was very similar in that the throw was a little bit late and the runner.
Yeah, he gets him right there. You can see the shirt move. He grazes him. That's why Pagan didn't feel it.
One and two. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 9th, the Marlins will have Buck, Coughlin, and the pitcher spot.
What a huge out, though. To go to the bottom of the 9th inning, down 2 as opposed to down 1 if Webb gets out of this inning.
Especially against Casilla, who's been lights out as the Giants closer. Arias still there. Webb ready. And the 2-2 on the way. Didn't offer, and it's 3-2. He hasn't thrown a pitch in the strike zone in this at bat.
got away with a hanger there.
Count still 3-2. Giants trying to even this series and head back home. The Marlins and the Nationals open their series tomorrow afternoon on Memorial Day. 3-2 coming. The Nationals in for 3. Then the Marlins head for a weekend series in Philadelphia, which is always fun. Then the Braves are in for 3. The Rays are in for 3. The Red Sox are in for 3. Cardinals, Phillies, Blue Jays at the end of the month of June also come in.
Got a good chance to see Roy Halladay, whose struggles are continuing. Halladay just 2 innings today, and he's out of the game. Gave up 4 hits and 4 runs to St. Louis. St. Louis, a 7-1 lead against the Phillies. Wow.
Carlos Beltran just hit a big home run in that game. Let's see if Webb can finish off Arias. Nope. Arias with a nice at bat. Ryan Theriot comes up. Webb has thrown 26 pitches so far.
And you want to deal with Theriot right here. You want to go right after him. Pinch hitter, a lefty. Nate Scherholz is on deck.
And Webb suddenly can't find the plate.
Of course, that's interesting. He would pinch hit for Casilla.
That would be a real surprise if that happened. Casilla has emerged on deck.
Scherholz might have been up there as a decoy, but yeah, Casilla's there now.
Clay Hensley is up. Is that part 2 of the decoy? Because you
Yes.
need both. If you're going to put a decoy on deck, you've got to have a decoy throwing in the pen. One pitch, Theriot fouls it out of play. And now it's 3-2. Arias will be moving from first with 2 outs in the ninth. 3-2 coming. Ground ball short. Reyes makes the play. And Webb delivers the game to the ninth. Down a run. 3-2 San Francisco. brought to you by Hyundai. If it's fuel efficient, affordable, stylish, and safe, it's probably a Hyundai. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Checkers. Feast on. 3-2 San Francisco, bottom of the ninth. The Giants have their closer in there, Santiago Casilla, who is having a terrific year. Stepping in for the injured Brian Wilson. Casilla has been one of the best in baseball, 11 of 12 in save opportunities. And the Marlins are going to pinch hit for John Buck with Donovan Solano. Here's a guy that's been in the big leagues for all of, 5 days? And he's called upon to hit for Buck. Coughlin is on deck. And then you've got the pitcher spot. And here is Casilla opening with a fastball that's high. 1-0.
Well, it's frustrating, the struggles of John Buck. 0 for 3 today. 0 for his last 26.
With a dozen strikeouts.
And a guy, if he were swinging the bat the way we saw him last year even, you'd let hit in this situation because he has a chance to hit one out. And just like that, tie the game.
Marlins are hopeful that Solano can just get on base. Count is 1-1. Solano to left, and it's Cabrera who catches it.
Wow, again, the scouting reports have been very good from the Giants because they're filling up the gaps. When I first saw that ball take off, I thought it had a chance to find the gap, but there was Cabrera who got a good jump and came in to put it away.
And a good at bat by Solano. Marlins Live after the game brought to you by Checkers. Craig Minervini and Jeff Conine will be out there in center field. Coughlin up now. Brett Hayes is on deck. Coughlin, a couple of hits. Casilla gets a strike with a fastball. What a luxury for the Giants to have such a deep and such a good bullpen. To lose an all-star closer like Brian Wilson to Tommy John surgery. And the Giants pen really hasn't missed a beat. Casilla's been a lockdown closer. Got great setup guys. Lopez from the left side, Romo from the right side. Jeremy Affelt's had a very good year. Steve Edlifson. Clay Hensley has an ERA of under 2. Soft liner, backing up Crawford, and he makes the play.
There's an example of that defense that they like about Brandon Crawford, who back on that ball but still was able to pick it. Knew he had to get a strong throw off because of the speed of Coughlin.
Crawford, who, if you look for it on the internet, has some defensive highlight reels where he does trick plays. Made those videos when he was in the minor leagues. Some pretty slick fielding tricks. Now the Marlins are down to their last shot here, and it's Brett Hayes, who has not homered this year. Santiago Casilla, the end of the Giants bullpen. It's inside and it's 2-0. Giants trying to get a series split here. Giants won the first game big, 14-7. Marlins answered with a 1-run win. Yesterday a 2-run win. And here San Francisco a 3-2 lead. And remember, it was Casilla that came in and got the last out of the 8th. If there's any manager in baseball that really doesn't adhere to the my closer's got to come in to start the inning clean, it's Bruce Bochy of the Giants. He broke that mold with Brian Wilson, and he does it with Casilla as well. Hayes, a bouncer into left field, and the Marlins have life with a 2-out single.
That's all you want to have, a little life. Keep the line moving, give Reyes an opportunity. He swung the bat well today. On the line a little bit was Arias, so that ball snuck through, had some nice top spin on it.
So it's top of the order time. Reyes 1 for 3 with an RBI single. The Giants in center and right are playing no doubles defense. And in this ballpark, that means you're extremely deep. Reyes takes a strike. I guess in Reyes' case, it would be no triples defense. But that opens up a lot of room in front and in the gaps. And Hayes, very athletic catcher, can run a little bit. Casilla misses away. A ball and a strike. Been a very entertaining series. The Marlins have won 2 games despite having their closer melt down and twice yanked out of the game before he lost the lead. Now Casilla, first save opportunity in the series for the Giants. Reyes sprays a ground ball to Crawford at short. He gets the out, and San Francisco gets the split. Marlins and Giants split in this 4-game series. The Marlins had swept the Giants in San Francisco. They win the season series. But a 1-run ball game goes to the Giants. The second time that Matt Cain and Ricky Nolasco have met this year. And they're at even 1-1 now against each other. As Cain gets the win, Nolasco the loss. 3-2 Giants. Marlins Live is next.